I'm just kidding. Team Fortress 2 isn't dead. Remember, the game is still receiving small updates every few weeks, and thinking of Team Fortress 2 as dead would require every single person, all around 350 people in Valve's offices, to want it to completely end support. It's not going to happen, not for a long time at least. If you remember, there was some confusion over 2 separate cases of Valve tours occurring, both with very different information coming out of them. One claiming that the Team Fortress team was around 15 people, and the other claiming that the team was around 2. The truth is, the team's size changes every day, and in fact, every team at Valve changes size every day. So they were both true, as they both referenced the size of the team that day. And I, personally, Valve News Network Tyler McVicker, grossly misunderstood. Sincere apologies from me for that mistake. All that matters is that Team Fortress 2 is still supported by Valve, and we have hard proof of this as close as May 14th of this year. It's not over. What is incredibly apparent is how slow things have gotten, and how much slower things will continue to get. Valve is a prolific company, currently juggling the future of enthusiast-grade VR hardware, some of the most anticipated VR software, 2 of the most popular competitive video games in existence, along with the single biggest software distribution platform for personal computers. Then they also have Team Fortress 2, a game that consistently has achieved at least 50,000 players for over 12 years. That's also known as a total enigma in the video game industry. That success is, in part, due to the continued dedication from TF2's spine, otherwise known as Eric Smith and Dave Reller. Jill may hop around from time to time, helping with Linux implementations. However, if I ever see the day where Eric Smith isn't at least partly dedicated to Team Fortress 2, then I'll call the game dead. A question I ask myself frequently is that if CSGO has an incredibly communicative team with an active meme Twitter and new content updates every few weeks, why is Team Fortress 2 not treated the same way, especially considering that people on each of these teams float around to each other daily? It boils down to the spines of the team and what they consider to be important. Obviously, there are people that work almost exclusively on CSGO that feel that maintaining a Twitter adds value to that specific project, whereas the long-term people on TF2 instead most likely feel that working in silent for years to then release a massive surprise is a better way of doing things, and they're likely both right. The people working on these projects are incredibly smart, and they likely understand their games better than most of the people working at Valve. So they can, over time, feel out what is best for their project, regardless of outside pressure. Direct quote from Valve. Quote, "There are very few people working on Team Fortress. I don't know the exact number, but it's hardly anyone anymore. And I think that's kind of obvious because we don't have big updates for that game really anymore. We're just kind of keeping it going and trying not to shut it down. But there's hardly anyone working on it." End quote. This was an interview with a Valve employee who will remain nameless. However, there's a few things we need to say. First, this person doesn't touch Team Fortress 2 and likely hasn't touched Team Fortress 2 in years, if at all. Second, this person considered between 2 and 15 people, depending on the day, to be, quote, hardly anyone. And in a company of 350 people, that's probably right. However, something that this proves is how misinformed Valve can be about Valve. Team-to-team communication is incredibly difficult at Valve because of how fluid each team can be, and teams can also sometimes act like small companies of their own, shutting themselves out for the rest of the office. This is a quote that I have sat on for a few weeks, partly because I was in the hospital and couldn't work, but also because I knew it couldn't be taken at face value, because shortly after receiving that quote, a much larger source of very current Team Fortress 2 information came my way. And although I'm still working on getting it to this channel, I can say that the most literal interpretation of this quote is just not true, and this employee is misunderstanding the situation. Expect another Team Fortress 2 video incredibly soon on some very good news. Right now, Valve is in the most crunch-like state that they've likely been in since Portal 2 over 8 years ago. HLVR, or whatever their flagship title is for 2019, is close to completion if they're confident in making that 2019 claim, and they are, without a doubt, in an all-hands-on-deck situation. Couple that with the team working to restart Artifact, the people getting Dota Underworld ready for TI9, the people organizing TI9, the people working on CSGO, the people working on the major Steam overhaul, the people working on Dota 2's next major update, and the people working to ship out the Index, and the people wanting to get those other 2 VR games out of the experimental phase, and it's no wonder that Team Fortress 2 is viewed with the hardly anyone on it tag. The Team Fortress 2 community is incredibly vibrant and full of life, and is one of, if not the best franchise for UGC that Valve currently owns. And by the way, UGC is a huge moneymaker. There will be another major update. The issue is that Team Fortress fans will have to wait for things to calm down over at Valve, because they are crazy right now. Once the VR title, Steam update, Index, Underlord, and Artifact ship, it will become far more likely for a major update to hit. There are, without a doubt, people working on features that will be in that next update right now. However, they are likely to be in the experimental phase of production and would likely require slightly more people to fully polish these things and release them right now, if the people working on it feel that the feature is good enough to release, at least. All that needs to be said for now is that the team does fluctuate in size, and although my dumbass thought the team was permanently at 2 people, it's a good thing that it fluctuates, because it means a large pool of people are interested in working in TF2, even if that isn't their main focus right now. Obviously, there is far more to say about what's going on, and it will be said very soon. However, the takeaway I want everyone to have is that Team Fortress 2 is alive, and many people are filtering in and out of the Team Fortress office room to help with experimental features. And one day, another major update will ship with some of those features, and that will be how things will be for the foreseeable future. The difference between now and something like 2012 is that Team Fortress 2 is very much a back burner project right now, although it's not a dead project. Everyone was asking me in the lead up to this video if I was going to publish good news or bad news. It's good news. All you need is some patience, which for a Valve fan is a piece of cake. So what does this mean for the community? What does the community do in the meantime to wait? What can we all do to make the time go a little faster? I have an idea. Let's make some good content. However, if a major community member was able to compile all the best content of a given period of time and compile that content in regular intervals and then release that content as part of an unofficial update with servers and server mods that would allow these things to be used, maybe Valve would see some value in that? I'm announcing a new series of videos focused entirely on the Team Fortress 2 community, and I need your help to make them. Down in the description is a new email address specifically for this project, and I want to be sent anything you've created for Team Fortress 2 that you're proud of from any period of time. Maps, art, cosmetics, weapons, server plugins, anything. I will feature the best stuff, as voted on by the community at regular intervals, which the intervals have yet to be decided. I'll figure that out as soon as I know how much stuff I'm being sent. But basically, I will be opening as many servers as I can realistically afford around the world so that this content can be enjoyed easily. Something I request, however, if you want to send me a map you've made to be played on these servers, please submit it through a workshop link, as it's far easier to work with that way on the servers I've paid for through these hosting websites. The first TF2 community celebration episode should be up next week, so get your submissions in. There are no rules for how old these creations can be, at least for the first few episodes. These rules may change, however, if they do, I'll let you know in a video. As for the rest of the news I have, which is a lot, it's in stasis right now. However, I'm working as best as I can to get it out as soon as possible. If you want to help with the server costs, which are pretty high, I have a Patreon and a PayPal link. I recently missed out on an entire month of work, which on YouTube is close to just ending your career. So any help is greatly appreciated for this project, because things are going to get kind of pricey. If you want to be able to follow up on everything that I'm working on, Team Fortress 2 included, follow me on Twitter, link to that down in the description below. I pretty much talk about everything I'm working on in real time. And once again, if you want to be able to support these videos, because YouTube's getting kind of crazy again, I'd appreciate it if you checked out my Patreon, link down below. Thank you very much. I'm Tyler McVicker. This is Valve News Network. Have a good day. Adios.